is Lucy, and today I'm going to be doing a book chat on An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. So this is a kind of contemporary sci-fi, I would describe it as. So it's set on Earth, and the main character, April May, she studied art and then marketing, and she works a job that she hates. And one night she's working really late, and she goes outside and she sees this statue. So she thinks it's some sort of art design, and she sees it and she nearly walks past it, but then she thinks, hang on a minute, like maybe no one's shared this and this artist has designed this and someone should be looking at it. So she gets a friend and they make a YouTube video about it. And then it turns out that there are these statues that she has named Cole around the world. There are 64 of them and they all appeared at the same time. And the CCTV was knocked out and there's static noise and a song that plays. So we're following April and her friends as they try to find out what's going on. There are some things to solve in this, and we see April become famous and she goes on TV, and there is a lot of discussion about social media. So first of all, when I started this book, it was different to what I expected. It was written a lot more colloquially. So it's like we're actually following someone who is just talking on Twitter. And this book is first person, so it's all from April's perspective. And we kind of get commentary on her past from her current self. But she can recognise when she made mistakes. So at first this was interesting and I was reading quite a bit of it. But as it went on, I became less and less interested in the story. So the plot line was actually quite interesting, as in the plot line about the Coles and the mystery and what was going to happen with them, because we begin to suspect that they are alien and that this is a first contact. So we spend all this time trying to work out what is going to happen with these creatures, and with what did happen where I got to it, because I did DNF it and I will explain why in a minute. Some of what happened with these creatures I felt didn't make much sense. I know it's not meant to be totally realistic, but thinking like what would happen, for example, there is something that's tangible and then something that's not that happens, and it's like, does this make sense for these creatures? Part of me felt like it was someone who had written a book and they just crammed in lots of different things that they thought were cool, but did it connect together well enough? I don't know. It didn't feel cohesive for me, but that's just my opinion. I enjoyed the conversation about social media and about how we are spending so much time of our lives on social media, and sometimes we can focus too much on numbers and how many people we are reaching when really we're forgetting to live our lives. So I really did enjoy the discussion there. And then the main character is bisexual and her girlfriend is black. I felt like April's girlfriend Maya wasn't in the book enough. It was kind of more focused on April and her friend and a couple of other people that she meets who go to solve this mystery. And April kind of shuts out Maya, and it would have been really interesting to see more of what Maya thought, because she did seem like a really interesting character. But from where I got to in the book, we just hadn't seen much of her. And April, well, at first she was fine. She was someone who wasn't doing what she dreamed of doing and wasn't enjoying her job. So I feel like this could be relatable to a lot of people. But then as the story went on, she just got more and more annoying. So as she gets famous, she kind of focuses so much on it. She is spending so much of her time like tweeting to people, and there's even a point where something happens, something big, and then she's just like, okay, I'm going to go on Twitter now and not deal with this. She just shuts out the important people in her life and is focused so much on fame. And she mentions a couple of times, oh yeah, I can get loads of money and then I can help people, I can spread a good message. But it feels like that's just thrown in to make her sound like a better person. She doesn't say exactly how she could help people, and she spends so much of her time thinking about, oh, like, this can get me more money. Just to be in her head all the time with her thinking about how she can get more followers on Facebook and Twitter. And she says that she has issues, but we don't find out if there's a reason why for it from where I got to in the book. And she just treats people in her life not very well. And it was just annoying. And then the fact that there's this group of 20-somethings who are going around and solving this mystery and interacting with these statues, and no one is monitoring them, no one else seems to be doing the same thing. And I think later on there is something about another group of people from what I read online. But we get to this point where it's just them that are going about doing this thing, and the government aren't talking to them, the police aren't talking to them, they're just like left to their own devices, and it's like they're the ones that have figured it out, but wouldn't someone else have figured it out? I don't know, it just felt like some points of this book did not add up. And it was just really slow. Like over 100 pages went by and not much had happened in relation to these statues. It was more about their TV appearances and their publicity. And so I ended up DNFing it because I just couldn't do it anymore. I was reading a couple pages and then just wanting to put it down. Like, I just didn't want to read it anymore. I didn't feel invested enough. If I don't love the characters, then it doesn't really make me want to read the book, because I feel like I'm more of a character driven person, and if the character isn't likeable, then I don't feel invested in the book. And the plotline was kind of interesting, but it just wasn't enough to keep me reading, so I just ended up looking up the summaries online because I just wasn't enjoying this book. So I felt really disappointed when I put this book down and I decided not to read any more of it, because I was really hoping that I was going to love it, and I did find the concept interesting, but it just wasn't for me. I just didn't enjoy it, and it's such a shame. And I will say that the writing was quite similar to John Green's book Turtles All the Way Down, which I've read, and I feel like what kept me reading that book was the main character had OCD rep, and I just wanted to see what happened with her. So I feel like in that book at least I was more interested in the character. But I know a lot of people have loved it. So if this book sounds interesting to you, then check it out. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you've read this book and what you thought of it. I will be posting a lot more book reviews, so please feel free to subscribe and check out my other videos if you would like to. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye!